Okay, how many of us don't like this anymore, where a student writes it under homework, that we have to comment on it using paper and pencil, or that we've printed something for them and they do this and then we add comments to it, or the old one here where we use the wonderful red pen and comment on that. Well, how about if we take all of those, we take our assignment that we have submitted and the student has commented on it, or student has turned it in with their answers, including mistakes, and we need to comment on it. So we're going to take this file and turn it into this file. So it's the same file. Notice that it's just commented, and this is where I added comments. And it's very easy to do. I'll show you in just a second. But you notice how I've added this comment. There's a different time where I can add a comment with a box. I highlight other things, and they're all noted over here in the pane. So as I select one, it'll highlight over here which one that is. And just to show you, I can add all different kinds of comments. So let's get started. We open our student work and we go to comment. When we click on comments, over here we have three different kinds of comments. We have annotations, drawing, and review. And we're not going to cover the review part, so I've got it hidden. But the annotations and drawing markups are what we saw. As I add comments, they will show up down here in this document where it says this document has no comments. As we add them, they'll show up. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to take this highlight text and I'm going to go down to the first one that I showed and the other one. It talks about a misspelling of other. And just to show you a different kind, I can do a call out text over here. It's called a sticky note. So when I click on that, I can put it right there, and it says this is not spelled correctly. As I click out of it, it'll show up over here as a call out. The other way I can do that same thing is I can add a note to text. So when I click on this one and I can highlight the note there, the word there, and it brings up a little call out here. Not correctly spelled. Just to show them. Okay, so they both, when I'm just viewing it, they both show up here, and as I move my mouse over the ones that have it, you notice that the highlight shows up. So I could unclick that and my notes would still show up over here. The other kind of comment you can make is just a freeform text. So you just click this button right here where it says freeform text, and notice it says add text comment. So we can just put our general comment right here and just click and start typing. Watch your spelling next time. Okay, and we can change the color of it. We can change the size of it. We can even change the spacing. So if we had to squeeze it down in there, we could click this a few times until it gets out, or we can click this and make it bigger, and this will let us change the color. I tried to stay away from red. Blue is a nice one that brings out, makes it a little stand out there. We also have this one right here, which is a text box, and it's very similar to the text tool, only it calls it out and brings your attention to it with this nice box. So I'm going to say please correct and send again. Okay. The other types of comments I can add is I can attach a file. So for instance, if I was doing something that had a rubric that I was going to send them, how I was grading it, like an essay, I could click on the attached file and put where I wanted it. So I would put it at the beginning, maybe right there, and then add whatever the rubric was. I can also add an audio note, so I could click on audio note, and when I click on that, it lets me do a recording. So I can hit record my audio note, hit stop, and then say OK. And when I do that, a little note earphone-like thing will show up here for them to do it, and they can then play it when I send it back. So those are just quick ones that I showed you at the top. Also, there's this stamp one that when we have time at the end, you can go and explore. The stamp one's really nice because it has some nice dynamic ones. And dynamic means that they're automatically updated at the what commenting type thing is. For instance, here, they're all different kinds. This one has the date and the time on it. This one has the author, the date and the time on it. This one has the author, the date, the time as reviewed or received, and then approved. And then you can just do confidential. The sign here ones are very self-explanatory. The standard business ones are very handy to use. You can also do custom stamps, which we'll cover in another class. Hopefully they get you started, and we'll go on into the other part.